and streaming live all across America. This is HomeTalk USA with Michael King. Join us as we discuss topics pertaining to your home with industry-leading experts. Hosted by Michael King, a licensed general contractor with more than 30 years of experience in home improvements and author of Contracting with the King. This hour is brought to you by HomeTalk.expert. Do you have questions about your next home improvement project or home repairs? Now you can chat with verified home repair and home improvement experts in just minutes. Get the help you need with HomeTalk.expert. That's HomeTalk.expert. We invite you to listen at HomeTalkUSA.com, one of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like HomeTalk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, HomeTalk.expert proudly presents the #1 home improvement radio program in the country with the man from the Bayou Land. Your host, the Cajun Contractor, Michael King.
Welcome, America. That's right. As I told you last week, we're going to dedicate all 3 hours to all the great inventors. This is Let's Make America Great Special. That's what we're going to do today. For 3 hours, we're going to talk to entrepreneurs, inventors. We're going to talk to how to basically, if you have an idea and you're trying to get it to market, well, this is the 3 hours you want to stay tuned to the show. And what else to do it but my co-host of the Invent America show that you can actually listen to that at the second hour. The Inventor Lady herself, Miss Rita Crompton. She's right here. Miss Rita, how you doing?
Hello there. How are you?
I'm doing fine. You know, a couple of weeks ago when I brought this to you, everybody thought I was crazy because I said, we don't want to steal that political, slogan from 45th president. But hey, I said, let's make America great special. Let's talk to. I'm excited, and let's do a special and to all these great inventors and entrepreneurs that basically bring us the products and services that make our life better.
That's absolutely the truth, Michael. You know, you've been doing this show for a long time, and it always amazes me how often I go back and look, and you had inventors on who were getting into the marketplace for years. And, you know, America is great because we have inventors who come up with new products. I mean, America invents, and that's why we have a show called Invent America. And it's hard, you know, and there's a lot of black holes out there. And so for our inventors, we are the ones who give them now the good guidance, and they're the ones that bring us the products. I mean, it's a wonderful thing that you have put together, your family that you've put together, and you bring all of the American inventors into your family. Thank you.
Well, I tell you, and that's what we're going to try to do because it's so important that we bring product and services and manufacturing and to the U.S. Let's bring everything back here. If we could try to produce it here in America. That's what we want to do. And because, Rita, we don't counterfeit things. We invent things, and that's what we do here. And I'm so excited. And tell us about the Invent America show that people can tune in at our second hour. It's part of the HomeTalk USA radio family where we actually dedicate that whole hour to inventors. And it's, we're getting so many compliments because it's the technologies of the future. Some of this stuff is 10, 15 years ahead of itself. So we're introducing it now that where our audience can say, hey, we got this coming up the pike. Does that make sense?
Oh, it does. It's so funny because, when I first started doing this 15 years ago, I would always, I'd get inventors that had brand new products and we were trying to get them into the marketplace. And so my family always got these new inventions for Christmas. And my son-in-law, he was just like, that is so weird. And then he got the first round of that first year I was doing things. He goes, oh, my God, this is so cool. What are we getting this year? And so it was so funny because when I go to their house now, I see some of these products that they've still got around the house. And the one lady was going and she was taking a new job, so she sold out. They bought her entire inventory so that they could take it into the mill and give it to all of their workers. And it was just so funny to watch how my family and my friends have come along and said, oh, do you have any of this? And, oh, do you have any of that? And where can I get this? So the whole inventing process that we have learned to go through has been a wonderful trip for family, friends, colleagues, all the people that we have gotten to know over the years. And I am sure you've got things around your house that were from your early clients.
Yep, that's right. I could tell you one right now. At Bond Products, the carpet binding came on this show. Now they're huge, and companies like that. It's so important that we give them this exposure. And of course, we don't want these entrepreneurs to go bankrupt before they have a chance to get their product to market. Because if you don't know what you're doing and you're trying to guess, you can be in a financial hurt before your product even gets to on the shelves.
Oh, that's for sure. And today we're talking about the way you brand a product. Well, that is one of the big financial killers. Apple paid a lot of money to teach us that an apple is something that you play with instead of something you eat. And most inventors don't have that kind of money.
Yeah. Well, tell us
and
about
so
our
we've
three
got to
guests
be
today.
more strategic.
Tell us about our three guests today. Who we have?
Our three guests, Ken Overgaard, he's got a product called Plungesleeve. And then we've got Dannielle Christiansen. She has got Diaper Extenders. And these names are all just so on target. Because I always tell people, it's like, what would you Google to find you? And I did not know these guys when they picked their names, but I'm sure that they were reading my mind. And then our industry expert is David Streen. He has got Wedge Light and EdgyTools. And again, fascinating names for the products that he picked because he understands, you've got to have a way to get people to find you. And so we've got to be using our words wisely when we go out on social media.
Well, we're talking to the Inventor Lady herself, Rita Crompton. We're talking, this is our Make America Great special that we're doing, where we're going to be dedicating all 3 hours to inventors. And you can tune in to me and Rita at the top of the hour on the Genesis Communication Radio Network, where we dedicate to the Invent America show. It's part of the HomeTalk USA radio family. And I got some texts last week because, as you know, HomeTalk is, we started off as a home improvement show, but we're really more than a home improvement show. We discover what we discuss, not discover. Yeah, well, you could say we discover, but we discuss all the issues that have to do with the home. So if it has to do with the home, we cover it here on Home Talk. So we're more than a home improvement show. So if it has to do with the home, we're going to talk about it right here.
Yep, that's exactly what we do. And so many of our inventors are all over the home. They're in every room of the home, the bathroom, the kitchen, the garage, the backyard, the toy box. And so the new show that we're going to ASD Market Week in March is a wonderful expansion of the categories that we used to cover. Now it gives us everything for our inventors. So you've got a kitchen gadget out there. You've got a new toy, pet product, tool, electrical, new hammer. We've got a gentleman going who's got a new hammer. It's wonderful. Join us and reach out to us because we're looking for now our team to go.
All right, that's right. In a couple of weeks, we're going to be talking about the show. It's a new show you're going to, and that's going to be in Las Vegas. We're going to get all the instructions, and I'm excited. We're going to bring the show there, and then I'm going to pop over there to the National Hardware Show in that same week, the week after. So I think I'm going to be in Las Vegas for about a month. So I hope they don't throw me out of there. But all right, Rita, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk to inventor Ken Overgaard. I'm here. This is HomeTalk USA right here on the Home Improvement Broadcasting Network. This is our Let's Make America Great special. We're glad you're tuning in. Stay tuned. So we've got a long way to go. 3 hours of uninterrupted education information right here on the Genesis Communication Radio Network at GCNlive.com. I'm the Cajun Man alone with the Inventor Lady. We're going to be right back. Yahoo!
Welcome back to Home Talk USA with Michael King. Do you have questions about your next home improvement project or home repairs? Now you can chat with verified home repair and home improvement experts in just minutes. Get the help you need with HomeTalk.expert. That's HomeTalk.expert. We invite you to visit us at HomeTalkUSA.com, one of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like HomeTalk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, back to the #1 home improvement radio program in the country with the man from the Bayou Land, your host, the Cajun Contractor, Michael King.
Hey, welcome back. This is Home Talk USA right here on the Genesis Communication Radio Network. My guest today is Miss Rita Crompton, the Inventor Lady herself. This is, well, if you're just tuning in, this is Let's Make America Great Special. We're talking to all the inventors. You can tune in to me and Rita at the top of the hour on the Invent America show, part of the Home Talk USA radio family. All right, let's get it going. Let's get a little taste of the Invent America show. And Rita, who's our first guest?
Our first guest today is Ken Overgaard. He is in Manhattan, and he has invented a product that everybody is going to get right away. Ken, thank you so much for being with us. Today we're talking about branding, and first tell our listeners, what is Plungesleeve?
Well, Plungesleeve is an ergonomic product. It's a padded oversleeve that you put on your plunger, make it more stable, and have it be easier to use. And then in addition, I've had it designed where you can create any type of design you want because it's easily interchangeable.
And, I always tell people, what would you Google to find your product? And, this is before they file a trademark or whatever, but we need a name. When we're going to a trade show, we need to be able to call a product something. And so, it's like, all right, well, how do I name it? So when I say, what would you Google to find you, I always look at, all right, well, I would Google plunger. And so how did you come up with this name? Because it really says exactly what it should say.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Rita. Well, my wife and I were sitting and we were brainstorming, and we tried a lot of different words to describe. And we put those two words together like Plungesleeve from plunger and sleeve. And so Plungesleeve just really hit the mark. And it seems to say a lot.
Well, it says exactly what it is, and that's good. You get an A+ in putting a name on something. So it's because there's times when I'm thinking, oh, my goodness, what were you thinking when you named it this? Because nobody's going to be able to find you. And, you spelled it right. I think a lot of times inventors think that, it'll sound the same, but I'll give it a goofy spelling. But nobody can read your mind and spell it in the goofy way to find you.
I got that. I understand, yeah.
And so you did a very good job. So what's next for you, Ken? What are you trying to do with your product?
I'd like to get it out. And so what I want to do is do a licensing agreement and just make sure it's readily available and well-known so that everybody can take advantage of and have one.
Well, it's funny because you think, plungers, they've been around forever. But they've improved a lot over the years. There's some that are much more eye-appealing as far as, you got to have a plunger by the toilet. I don't really care how fancy your toilet is. You generally still need a plunger there, especially if you've got kids or pets or, anybody else that just wants to throw stuff down a toilet. And so having one that is a little bit more eye-appealing, it's still got to be there. And if you've got 5 toilets in the house, guess what? You're going to have 5 plungers.
Well, there you go.
It's amazing. So I'm hoping that you will be able to join us at ASD Market Week. I think it would be a great show for you to be able to go and show off and get some feedback from the professionals out there that buy those types of products. And, being able to get people to see it and give you feedback is critical at this point.
I agree. I think I'm looking forward to that. That would be a good experience.
So anyway, we're going to help you get teed up and get ready to go for that show. Make sure that you've got them the sexy prototypes. I know that your patent has issued, a few years back. So what's kind of been the stop point? Help our inventors out, because, a lot of times, you share similar experiences. So what has been holding you back? What's been the stopping point for you?
Well, looking back and thinking about it, I think the issue is one of finding a compatible manufacturer that they wouldn't have to retool completely, and that would fit into the product line and have it be incorporated at not too much of an expense, and just to find the appropriate company.
All right. Well, we're going to see if we can't work on that for you and help you out. And for inventors out there, if you've got an idea or you're kind of stuck like Ken has been, get in touch with us, because we've got really good service providers. They can help you through those stuck stages and get you back on the right track. And if you've got questions, you can join us at the Inventors Roundtable. It's kind of the call-in version of the show. It's free. All you've got to do is Google Inventors Roundtable. You'll be able to find it. You can go to Inventor Lady, talk about branding. I was at the Denver Metro Chamber one day, and somebody goes, I know you. You're that Inventor Lady. It's like, it works for me. And from there, we went with inventorlady.com. That was back in the day when it was still available. So names are important. When you think about, all right, what would someone Google to find you? Think about that. Start with that and work with those words. We had a gentleman that did a tool to hang a door. And when you Googled, door dog, which is what he wanted to name it, doggy doors came up, 1 million of them. What he did was got a tagline, how to hang a door. Well, guess what? Now he came up on the first page. So there's strategic ways to use our words, and that's what's really critical. Right, Ken?
Sounds right to me.
So, anyway, thank you so much for joining us today, and we are going to thank some of our sponsors. Kicker Design is one of those guys that you might want to get in touch with. They really help get inventors from that rough prototype stage up to manufacturing prototype. And the other one is Product Quick Start. But Scott Tarsi might be a good one for you. He can do a sexy prototype for your product, and he is part of CAD Design, and he helps inventors get from the ones you might have done on your kitchen table to the sexy prototype that we could show at the trade show. So I'm going to send you his contact information, Ken, and he might be the guy to help get you teed up for this show. Thanks, everybody. Stick with us. We have got another guest coming up.
Welcome back to HomeTalk USA with Michael King. Do you have questions about your next home improvement project or home repairs? Now you can chat with verified home repair and home improvement experts in just minutes. Get the help you need with HomeTalk.expert. That's HomeTalk.expert. We invite you to visit us at HomeTalkUSA.com, one of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like HomeTalk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, back to the #1 home improvement radio program in the country with the man from the Bayou Land, your host, the Cajun Contractor, Michael King.
This is Rita Crompton with Invent America, and we are talking today about branding. How do you pick out a name that actually leads to a brand for your product? And our next guest is Dannielle Christiansen. Dannielle invented Diaper Extenders, or more officially known as Danny's Diaper Extenders. Dannielle, thanks so much for being with us today. Tell everybody, what is Diaper Extenders?
Diaper extenders, for the most clear way that I can put it, is an absorbent extender pad that attaches to the back of a baby's diaper to catch those dreaded up-the-back diaper blowouts.
And, you know, considering the fact that we just talked about plungers in our last segment, this is kind of, you know, appropriate for extending our conversation. And in a funny way, because I have, you know, a grandson who is notorious for that kind of problem, and his mother is waiting to get her hands on these. So the name, though, is what we're focused on today. And so how did you come up with the name? Because like I said before, you know, I always tell people, what would you Google to find you? And this is perfect. You get an A+ for naming your product. So tell us how you came up with it.
You know, I've kind of run away with this market because there's not very many other competitors out there. And so I wanted the product to have a very concise description of it in the name so that you can't really mistake it for something else. So if you're ever looking for something that would extend the absorbency of your diaper, you might call it on your own to Google it as a diaper extender. And if you think of a diaper extender, there's not a whole lot that you would imagine that it could be besides something that would extend off the back of a diaper. And so I picked the name so that it could very accurately describe what the product does.
It's very good. It really is, because you're right. That's what somebody would, you know, want to Google to find you. And so how long have you been working on this? Share with our listeners now, because, you know, when we're getting to name a product, you've gone through a lot of the different stages. So tell everybody kind of some of your backstory.
You know, my daughter, she used to blow out of her diaper all the time, and she was my firstborn. She was born in 2018, and so I kind of invented this product to solve a problem for myself with her. And by the time my son was born, that idea was kind of past, right, because the need for it was gone. But when my son was born, he, too, was a baby that blew out of his diaper, and I said, you know what, I think this idea found me. I need to take it somewhere. And so I started researching how to get a patent, what steps I would need to take to bring a product to market, and then just slowly but surely have been kind of chugging along. Found some distributors or manufacturers overseas that could kind of help me out with this process. But at first, I really kind of made them all on my own, and that was just a lot of work. So
yes, for sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, kudos to you for making your own. Are they for sale?
Yes. So the biggest way that I'm selling them right now is over Amazon and Etsy.
All right, give us those addresses, please. What are your website, and then go again with the other places where people can buy them.
Yeah, so on my website, very simple, diaperextenders.com. I also have a Facebook page that you can find by looking up Diaper Extenders, Instagram, Diaper Extenders. And then if you were to type into Amazon, you would put Danny's Diaper Extenders, and that listing will pop right up for you. The same with Etsy.
Excellent. And we will get all that posted on our website so that, you know, mothers and fathers and grandparents out there who don't want to deal with the explosion can be able to get their hands on your product. I think it's just wonderful, good for you. And I'm looking forward to having you at ASD Market Week as well, because I think this will be a really good show for you to be able to get out there and show off. And so what is your ultimate goal then? Are you looking for licensing, or do you want to be in only startup mode?
You know, I would love to do the licensing route. I think that Diaper Extenders can go really far, and possibly releasing that to someone else could maybe I could see it going its full potential. I love the idea of licensing. In the meantime, I've really just been trying to get it out there. People don't know it exists. I'm constantly hearing, "Oh, I wish if this was something that when my son was born, like I would have loved to use this. I would have needed this." People don't know it exists, so just getting my product out there so that people can see it is really my biggest effort right now.
Well, that's wonderful. And like I said, we'll do some video with you. We'll get it posted out there so that you're streaming on all of our platforms. We'll get your website and all your social media up there. And in the meantime, you're doing a wonderful job. So thank you so much for being with us today. And we want to thank our Genesis. Thank you so much. We want to thank our Genesis Communication Network for giving us a home. And if you are an inventor and you've got some ideas, you want to check out inventorlady.com. There's the Inventor's Galaxy Guide that walks you through the early steps. And if you want to listen to some of our other topics that we have got out there, inventamerica.info is a great place to go to be able to find some of those other episodes. And I've had inventors tell me that they pick the topic that's relevant to them at any given moment, and they go through the list, find those topics for where they currently are in the process. And then they listen to them and get the answers that they need. So please, the data is out there. The information is out there. We do the Inventors Roundtable. So you can find the information you need if you are trying to invent a new product and get it out there into the marketplace. Join us. And join us on the radio, too, because it's amazing how fast a Monday rolls around, and we are always looking for inventors to join us. Thank you so much, and we have got another segment coming up with David Streen from Wedgelight. He has got more than 100 different products that he has named and taken to market. Stick with us.
Welcome back to HomeTalk USA with Michael King. Do you have questions about your next home improvement project or home repairs? Now you can chat with verified home repair and home improvement experts in just minutes. Get the help you need with HomeTalk.expert. That's HomeTalk.expert. We invite you to visit us at HomeTalkUSA.com, one of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like HomeTalk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, back to the #1 home improvement radio program in the country with the man from the Bayou Land, your host, the Cajun Contractor, Michael King.
My name is Rita Crompton. I am the host of Invent America with Michael King, and we are so grateful that HomeTalk USA has given Invent America and all of the American inventors out there a place to go to gather information. And so today we are talking about how important it is to pick a good name. My guest and industry expert is David Streen. David is the founder of EdgyTools. He's got over 100 products out there that he's had to name. And, the funny thing is that if you don't pick the right name, and it's challenging, then nobody can find you. So, David, tell our listeners, thank you so much for being with us today. You're a wonderful guest. And so tell us about EdgyTools, and then I want you to tell us, how do you name a product?
So there's a lot of different ways that I name my products. At EdgyTools, we're a little edgy, so we use some innuendos and funny things and whatever. But I found the best result is, A, if the product's very easy name to remember and to tell your friends about, as well as if it can say what it does. So, for instance, I have the control punch. It's a punch that gives you more control when you use it. I have the wedge light, which is a wedge that lights up so you can see the interior of door panels and stuff in the automotive repair space. So if you can name it, what it does is very, you're a step ahead. And again, something easy to refer. You know, if you're using a product and you want to tell your friend about it, it's got to be simple and easy to remember, top of head, top of mind.
You're so right. You know, when I get somebody that spells something that is just, you know, it's like, what language are you speaking? And, you know, the trademark office always tells them, oh, it's got to be unique. It's got to be something different. You know, Kleenex was not a word until we all learned that it was something you used to wipe your nose. And, you know, but they had a lot of money to educate potential buyers out there that it was not just a tissue for wiping your nose. It was a Kleenex for wiping your nose. Our inventors don't have millions of dollars to drop into branding the product, so they have to be smarter with their words.
Yeah, exactly. And I always say that clear is better than cute.
Yes, very good. I'm going to remember that. Do you mind if I use that?
No, please share. Yeah.
All right. So advice for our inventors. Do you have additional advice for them on, you know, when they get to that point, they've already dropped a ton of cash on it. You know, they've got prototypes going, they've got patents pending, and now they're down to, a lot of times, their last dollars. And marketing can be really expensive. Give them some good advice on naming their products so they don't, you know, lose everything.
So, boy, I could talk for hours and hours and days on that. But I would say, like I said, come up with that very clear, easy to remember name. And then my first step is always see if the domain, the URL is available, you know, because that kind of gives you a lot of protection, even if you're not going down the trademark and patent route and everything else. If you have the perfect name and you own the domain, it's very, very tough for people to come in and imitate you. You're the authority on that, in my mind.
No, I agree with you. I've always said, you know, buy a six-pack of beer or a good bottle of wine and sit a bunch of friends down around the table and then have them throw out words on what they would Google to find you.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yep.
And, you know, practice, you know, see what fits together, you know, a good word that you would Google and then maybe an adjective that goes with it, something that makes sense, it's easy to remember, and then you do the .com search. And that's the easiest. I had, you know, one of the inventors that's going to the ASD Market Week with us, and she did exactly that. She goes, well, how do I protect my name? And she came back, she goes, the .com is available. And I said, there you go. That's your first search. Grab it. And I said, you know, that if it comes up and it goes someplace else, you need to know what else it's going to. But good heavens, if that .com, it's like when they said, oh, I know you're that Inventor Lady, and I went home and I looked at inventorlady.com was available, and we had Inventor Lady 15 years ago.
Exactly. You know, you solidify your brand that way, and whether you or not you ever trademarked it, it doesn't matter because you're it. If somebody
That's
can
right.
Google it, they find you. So, yeah, that's perfect.
So that is great news, and, you know, good for our inventors to know because it can be... It sounds so simple, but it is such an important step in the process of getting a product to market.
Definitely.
So, thank you, David, so much for being on with us today. You are a great industry expert, and we will have you on again. We will post you with all of your social media on our website. And stick with us, everybody, when we wrap up this Invent America Hour.
Thank you so much.
HomeTalk USA with Michael King. Do you have questions about your next home improvement project or home repairs? Now you can chat with verified home repair and home improvement experts in just minutes. Get the help you need by visiting HomeTalkUSA.com. One of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like HomeTalk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, back to Invent America from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country. HomeTalk USA with your host, the Cajun Contractor, Michael King, and his co-host, the Inventor Lady, Rita Crompton.
Thank you, everyone, so much for being with us today. You can go and find all of our episodes on inventamerica.info. And I had a gentleman call me on Saturday. He goes, I just got done listening to your show. Can you help me? So, yes, I do answer my phone. My phone number is out there. You can reach me at Rita at inventorlady.com or inventamerica.info will bring you directly to my email. If you are starting a project and you want to ask some questions, please let me know. If you just need a brand new prototype made, get a hold of CAD Design. Scott Tarsi is one of our sponsors, and he does wonderful work with early stage inventors. Next week, we are going to be talking about early steps. What is the first thing you should pay for? So join us then. All of you inventors out there, everyone who knows an inventor. And if you're not an inventor and you just want some really cool products, go listen to our shows and click on our links because they're all listed right there. Talk to you next week, everyone. Have a wonderful week.
HomeTalk USA with Michael King is produced by HomeTalk Media in association with King's Broadcasting Network and Genesis Communications Network. Broadcast and streamed live from the great state of Louisiana. Host and producer, the Cajun Contractor, Michael King. Executive producer, Michael Mellinson. Affiliate and sponsor relations, Joe Spera. Comptroller, Sheila Gregoire. Assistant producer, Christian Bethencourt. Board operators provided by Genesis Communications Network. And I'm your announcer, Kevin McCarthy. Music includes King's Creole by Prolific Arts, Cajun Jam by StockMusic.com, and Zydeco City by Steve Rice. HomeTalk USA with Michael King is sponsored by Bonai, pest solutions for your home, garden, and lawn. Decorators, take outdoor living beyond ordinary. Aztec Washer, innovative roofing solutions. Seal it right, seal it tight. Trimislab, replace rotten or missing wood with Trimislab expansion joint repair. Masonry Cosmetics, change the color of any porous masonry with proven masonry staining. Green Products Company, #1 in wood preservatives. Preserve, protect, and clean what you value, and most of all, make it last. Bond Products, manufacturers of InstaBind, the world's first do-it-yourself carpet binding solution. Deckrite, life is tough. Make your exterior flooring tougher. Thank you for joining us for another episode of HomeTalk USA with Michael King. Until next time, visit us at HomeTalkUSA.com. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like HomeTalk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com.
Yay!